When we talk about history, especially the way many Europeans and Americans tells it, there is a repeated pattern where they claim to have discovered places that were already full of life, culture, and people before they arrived. They say they discovered lands, discovered rivers, discovered mountains, but the truth is simple. You cannot discover a place where people already existed. What they really did was arrive, ignore the people they met, rename the land, and then write the story in a way that favored themselves. A clear example is the claim that Christopher Columbus discovered America. This is not true. America was already home to millions of indigenous people with rich civilization, like the Maya, Inca, and many others. Even before Columbus, the Vikings had reached North America. So how can you discover a continent that was already occupied? The same thing happened in Africa. Europeans claimed they discovered the Niger River, but African communities had lived along that river for thousands of years, built kingdoms like Mali and Sunga, and depend on it for their survival. They said they discovered Kilimanjaro, but the Changa and Maasai people had lived around that mountain for generations. They said they discovered parts of Nigeria. Years before the first European ever stepped foot there, great kingdoms like Benin, Oyo, Kaneme Bonu, and Inri existed with their own system of government, trade, and culture. Europeans did not discover these places. They simply arrived and renamed them. Even the waterfalls, lake, and mountain across Africa were renamed and reclaimed as European discovery, despite the fact that our ancestors had known, used, and honored these places for centuries. This renaming was not innocent. It was part of a large pattern, taking ownership of a place they never built and writing themselves into history that was never theirs. The truth is that those who colonized Africa also control the writing of African history, and when people write history, they often write it in a way that justifies their actions, elevates themselves, and hide the achievements of those they dominated. That is why so many Western books praise explorers and colonizers. This is why it is important for us, as Africans, to tell our own story, because the white man can never fully tell the true history of the black race. History has too often been twisted to justify the injustice done to our people. So when we hear the word discover, we must ask, discovered by who and for who? No one discovered a land that already has people, culture, and history. Our story did not begin with colonization, and it is time we reclaim it.